Hello, friends, and welcome to Leading Her Way, a social media show where we tell the inspiring stories behind women who are making an impact in business. My guest today is Leah Jantzen, mental health and performance coach for athletes. And I am so excited because what drew me to Leah, if you don't know, my adult daughter was a high school and college athlete. And one of the things that we say, my husband and I, and my daughter, that we would have changed is that we would have found someone like Leah to help her with her mindset because confidence is so important. And as a teenager, it's so easy to get down on yourself. So I'm excited to hear from Leah today. As you know, we ask every guest the same three questions. Then we have a fun question. And then at the end, Leah's going to tell you how you can get in touch with her and get some help in supporting both yourself and your athlete. So, Leah, I'm going to let you do the introductions. Tell us who you are and the work that you do.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you for having me. I am Leah Jantzen. I am a mental health and performance coach. I am a mom of four. I am also a school counselor. I wear a lot of hats, Andrea. I am also an athlete myself. So I am a 3-time Ironman, 12-time marathon runner. So I do my own competing as well. So I have been in this business now for a couple of years, and it's been a labor of love for me because I have been interested in the sports psychology, mental performance field since I'm in college. True story. I took a sports psychology class a long, long time ago. I won't tell you how long ago, but it was way back. And ever since then, I've been a student of mental performance and sports psychology. And so as a former volleyball coach, also at my high school, I started using these mindset and mental performance strategies to help myself compete as an athlete. And I said, every kid should benefit from this type of work. Like, why aren't I meeting with all the students and all the athletes in my building? So I began a journey of creating this position that I currently have in my school district, where I work with student athletes every day after school. I meet with teams and talk to them about how to change their mindset and how to be in the present moment and how to get over making a mistake and in turn make them more confident players. Because if you ask any high school athlete, if I asked them, if I have a magic wand, what would you want me to do? And they said, I just want to be more confident out there. I want to be more confident. I want to be able to take chances and not worry that I'm going to make a mistake and I'm going to let my team down. I'm going to let my coach down. I'm going to let my parents down. So that is such an important piece of what the kids are looking for. So I started to bring that all together, and so I created that position for myself at school. But then on the outside, I started helping young athletes, meeting with them on a one-on-one basis and doing private coaching with them, essentially mental performance coaching. And so I do that as well. So that's a little bit of a snippet of what I do.
Wow, I love it. Oh, gosh, I'm so excited about this. All right, so let's get down to the very first question. What inspired you to start, and what's the driving force behind? And you kind of answered this already, but let's go in a little bit deeper. The driving
Yeah.
force behind the work.
And I think, again, I was such a student and I was so passionate about the mental performance piece of sports. The first part of it all was that I just was a lover of sports. I just love competing. I've been an athlete since I'm a little kid. And I wrote my college essay on competition. I just enjoy it. I just like it. So it was sort of an accumulation of years of work in that field. Then working in a school district for all the years that I've been a school counselor and being a coach and having kids in sports, it all came together for me, Andrea. I was like, this is that I want to help kids feel more empowered. I want them to feel like they are more in control and they just don't go out there on the court and hope for the best. And let's just see what happens. And I don't know what I'm doing. And why aren't I doing better? Like to give them intentionality and to give them purpose. And also for kids to realize they have a role on the team, to teach them that not every kid is scoring all the goals. Not every kid is making is scoring all the points, that they all bring something to the experience. And I think that was a big driving force behind what I'm doing. And lately, I'm trying to educate parents on how to connect with their kid. Like we all, I was an athlete as a child, so of course I'm going to project onto my children my experience, the mistakes that I made, And it's very tempting to be lecturing your kid and telling them what you see and what they did wrong and what they did right. And they don't always want to hear that. That's the
Yes.
truth. So I'm trying to educate parents on better ways just to connect with your teen and not make the car ride home a coffin. Make it, a fun experience. So that's an opportunity, not a place for contention. So there's a lot of driving forces behind the different pieces of my business, but I think sports ultimately is supposed to be fun, Andrea. Like, we
Yes.
do it for fun, and a lot of kids I'm seeing today are losing the fun piece of it, and it's becoming a lot of pressure, a lot of expectation, and they're doing it since they're so little. They're very young when they begin. So by the time they get to high school, a lot of them are also burnt out. So I'm trying to teach them ways to cope with that burnout or an injury. There's so many different pieces of sports, again, the injury prevention or just recovering from an injury. When your identity is around your sport and now you can't do that sport, it's very life altering, and it's hard for kids to deal with that as well. So there's a lot of driving forces behind
Yes.
it. I think I answered the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the
Oh,
second part of the question? I don't remember. Yeah.
that was just it. The
Okay,
driving
good.
force. Yeah, you covered that really well. And I often think, with my daughter, I didn't know what I didn't know at the time, and I question her now that she's an adult, because I say there are so many things that I would have done different. When you're
Mhm.
in it,
Mm.
it is easy to get that pressure to listen to the other parents and listen to the people who are talking sometimes about your child, and
Yeah.
there's so many things I would do differently. So I think talking to your kids is so important. Probably when they're in
Yeah.
it versus 10 years later, like I did.
Oh, right, but that's okay. Hindsight is 2020, right? Everybody knows after the fact. And that's part of also my journey is I have an older daughter who's 20, and I made a lot of mistakes with her when she was in high school and junior high. And I'm trying to learn from listen, we're not perfect parents. We're doing the best that we can. But if we can educate ourselves and maybe make some small adjustments, then that might make a big difference in our athletes' journey. It's not our journey. We had our chance as parents. We had our chance. This is them, and we have to step back sometimes and let them live their experience and support them every way we can. And there are ways that we can do that as parents in a very productive and healthy manner.
Yeah. One thing that was fun for me, we did a lot of traveling with basketball, both in high school and in college. And I enjoyed it. I had a lot of friends that were surrounded by basketball. And then when I started learning all of this and looking back, I thought, oh, because I wasn't competitive at all. So I wasn't pushing her
Mhm.
toward the sport, but I did enjoy the
Mm.
social aspect of it. And I wondered, oh gosh, did I influence her that way? Because I didn't want to lose that piece of me either. I mean, there are a lot of questions that we ask ourselves, and that's one of the benefits of being parents of adult children, is that we do get to see 2020 hindsight. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Okay,
right.
next question. What specific problem or challenge were you looking to solve? And again, this kind of seems competitive, but tell us maybe something specific that you saw that made you say, wow, I really have to do this.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I'm just listening to parents on the sidelines, and it's upsetting me lately what I'm hearing, the comments that I'm hearing, the negativity that they're yelling at their kid, the expectation, well, why didn't she make that shot? She should have made that shot. Like, I'm like, she's 12. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of status around sports. And I think that parents get caught up in that Division 1, that they're romanced by this dream of their kid getting a Division 1 scholarship, and they're losing sight of that their kid isn't enjoying this anymore, and it's not fun for them. And so I just felt I had an obligation to educate people on all the things I'm seeing from different angles. I'm seeing it as a parent. I'm seeing it I've been a coach on a varsity level. And I'm seeing it also in a school where I work with kids every single day and I talk to them every single day. And I think we can do a better job of connecting with these teens rather than adding more to their life and expecting them to do more. And I hear parents say things like, well, they have to go to these privates and they have to do strength and conditioning if they want to. listen, if your kid is going to be Michael Jordan, they're going to be Michael Jordan, whether you bring them to private lessons or not. That's innate. That's coming from them. And we don't trust that our kids are going to do, they're not all going to be what we dream that they're going to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I
Yes.
just think we're missing the really the gold in all of it, which is the traveling with the kid to the tournaments and having fun with the team at team dinners and running around the hotel room. As
Yes.
I've done all the travel, with
Right.
my kids.
The
That's
pool, yeah.
the pool, right, getting in trouble and the funny stuff. That's really what it's about. Like, what percent of kids go on to play college ball? 4%, 5, maybe 6, 7 in some sports. That's a very low percent. So most of them are just going to have a good, fun time in sports. And let's make sure that the message is that, like, let's make this fun and let's make it a way to connect and good memories for your kid, not pressure to be something they may not want to be.
That is such good work. And that's one of the things that you just made me think about.
Mm.
One of the things that made me become a coach for women, I coach adults, was my coaching of my daughter through her freshman year of college and telling her, enjoy the journey. It's not about how much playing time you get. It's not about
Mhm.
whether you make every shot or
Right.
even if you get to start or make the travel team. It's about
Mhm.
enjoying the friends that you make and the experience of the whole 4 years. And she stuck it out. There was 13 people in her college freshman team, and her best friend are the only 2 that made it through
Wow.
all 4 years, and they did that by just enjoying the process
Yep.
and all of the things that come with it.
That's a very important message. It's the process, not the outcome. I tell kids that all the time. It's all about the journey. It's hard to be in the present moment, just be in the moment. What are you doing now? But that's a great lesson. And she stuck it out. Good for her. That's really hard. It's hard to do.
Yeah, and that in
It's
itself was a
tough.
lesson, right?
Oh,
So,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Good
So
for you.
let's switch gears just a little bit,
Mhm.
because I could get stuck in the what you do in your business. But leading her way is about women who are entrepreneurs that make a difference, not just for the money, but for that fulfilling. And I know I can tell by your passion that this is very fulfilling for you. So tell us a little bit about that side of the entrepreneur side.
That's such a great question, Andrea, because I'm in education. I've never been an entrepreneur. I've never taken a business class. I don't know anything about marketing. I don't know anything about business,
That's
but
perfect.
I'm the perfect person for your show because I felt compelled to do this business. Like, this is in me. This is impossible. In fact, I've tried to not do it. Like, and you just like, it can't not happen because it's just my life's purpose. Truthfully, I feel that way 100%. It is just, I'm just drawn to it. And I keep, I pivot to different things. I started out coaching women mainly when I first started, and then coaching other athletes like myself on Ironmans and triathletes and runners on mindset and all of that. And then in the last couple of years or so, maybe 5 years, I went into athletes completely, like student athletes and parents, and doing that because it's just, I learned so much from my own children and what I could, and just working with parents and being around kids all the time, that this business is just part of me. It's just something that I do. It really, it's a passion project as well as a business. I do, it is
Yes.
money making, but for sure that's not the driving force behind it. I'd like to, make money on it, and I do, but there's so much to it and there's so much more I'd like to do with it, and I'm just getting started. I feel like with this recent pivot of mine, somewhat recent pivot, and I feel like I've finally hit my sweet spot. And I have people telling me all the time, they're like, this is where you're meant to be. Like, this is your spot. I'm like, okay. So it feels really good to feel like the work is connecting. Like, if you can marry your biggest struggle with your biggest, a struggle with your big greatest gift, right? And those two
Mhm.
things come together. That's what I feel like I'm doing. My gift is sports and helping people, and all those things are coming together. So I feel like I'm right where I need to be. And it's a really nice feeling in business.
I love that. When I first started in business, my one-on-one coaching was called Finding Your Gift, exactly for that reason.
Yeah.
And I felt like so many people didn't know what a gift was, and I thought, "Oh, that's the wrong title." But I think often about changing it back to that because it
Mhm.
really is, it's not about the business. It's not about the money, it's not about the
Yeah, right.
any of the processes, it's about that feeling. I read one time in a book that you will know you have it when there's not enough money that someone could pay you to stop.
Mhm.
And
That's
I
kind of
was
where
like, "Oh, this is it." Like, someone could
it's
say, "Here's $1,000,000 to stop what you're doing," and I would say, "Nope, this is too important. This is why I'm here." And I feel
yeah,
that
it's really
passion from you.
it's yeah, it's purpose, it's passion, it's purpose, it found me. It's like I didn't go searching for it. I wasn't like, is it this? Is it that? It just came together. And my advice to people who are looking for that passion or looking, what's my passion? What's my purpose? It just keep doing. Just do the work. I always used to say one of the phrases I always said in my writing was action equals answers. Action creates answers. So when you take action on something and it doesn't work out, it's just as big of an answer as if you took action and it did work out. Finding out what you don't love is equally as important as finding what you do love. So I've iterated on different things and it just wasn't the right fit. I was like, no, I'm not supposed to be working with this, with this population. That wasn't it, but I took action on it, Andrea. So if you're listening to this as a female in business and you're like, what's my thing? Leah knows her thing. I don't know my thing. Keep taking action. That is where you will get answers. And those answers will help guide you in the right direction.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. All right. Last question. This is the fun question.
Okay.
And I choose from 3, and the one that always pops into my mind is the one that I ask. So, if you were to describe your leadership style as a type of food, what would it be and why?
Oh, what an interesting question. My leadership style as a type of food. Whoa. Oh boy. I almost it's like it's like a shrimp cocktail, like you know what you're getting, but it's always good and it's very predictable. It's well known. It's you, you know you're going to be happy with it. You can't really go wrong. That sounds weird.
No, I get
Leadership.
it.
I mean, I don't know why that's jumping out in my head. And then I was thinking like chicken parmesan. I was like, that's always a go-to, a standby, but that's too generic for me. I have to be a little bit more fancy than chicken parm. I want to say like shrimp cocktail or some kind of a seafood dish, a little bit of a delicacy, but not really a delicacy, more mainstream than that.
I love
Um,
it.
you know what you're getting. It's always good. I don't know, something like that. That's a
It's
funny
also a
question.
little bit luxurious and special, right?
A little bit. Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't have it every day. You don't have it every day. Interesting. Okay, I like that question. That's great. I've never
I
been asked
love
that
it.
before.
Yeah, everyone always gets deer in the headlights, but then the answers are always so good. I love it.
Fascinating question. Yeah.
Okay, tell my audience how they can find you. There is such a need for what you're doing. So give us
The I will give you all of the ways. So the easiest, the place I'm most active on social is definitely Instagram, and you can find me at Leah Jantzen, LeahJantzen. I'm sure you have it up. But if you want to get my newsletter, and it's a weekly newsletter called The Car Ride Home, that's where I give tips and strategies for parents. I share my own personal anecdotes with my own children. Everything there is just meant for you to connect with your kid, or if you want your child to get private coaching with me, that's a good way to find out more about that. I'm just trying to educate, empower, entertain parents on different ways that they can enjoy the journey that they're on with their kid, because people have kids of different age. I have a 12-year-old and a 20-year-old, and they're all different, and I'm handling each kid has to be handled very differently and parented differently. So I'm hoping to reach out to more parents in that way and share some strategies with them that can make their bond with their kid even better.
yes, I'll definitely share below here all of the links that we can connect
Right.
to
So
you.
my website is the best way to get to that car ride home. My website, they can
Okay.
register. Yep. And
Okay.
follow me on Instagram so we can connect and say hi. Say hi to me. I heard you. If you have any questions, anyone listening, if you have a question about your child, please just ask me. I'm happy to answer. I'm happy to help. I love hearing from parents. It actually helps me understand what parents are dealing with if they give me scenarios. So please feel free to reach out anytime.
Great. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. And I'm
So
sure
fun.
we'll do it again.
I would love to.
as soon as I get through this round, I'm going to come up with a different series of questions because I love asking the same questions to everyone. It just keeps everything in alignment with where we want to go. So
Cool.
thank you so
I
much.
really liked it. Thank you for having me, Andrea. This was super fun.
Yes. All right. Have a good day.